Starting to talk about the system and the barriers that the system creates. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that, but I'll just go over a few. And I do have an example of something that hopefully will help out. But I think fines are a barrier. I think library cards are a barrier. And I think are ways to get around these things. I mean, I think that having to provide an address for some people is really, because I was trying to get my kids, I was registering them to vote. And a lot of kids really wanted to vote for Obama, but they really did not want to send in the form with their address on it. Some of this is due to immigration issues. They may be a legal citizen, but they may have a grandmother there, or they may have somebody in their family that is illegal, and they don't want to jeopardize that status by calling attention to themselves in any way with the government. And I think that's true with a library card as well. And there are going to be, I'm saying, most likely tax-paying citizens in that home. There may just be one person who they're trying to protect. And so I think there really needs to be understanding of this so that people, there's options for people so that they can access our libraries. I wanted to talk about incentives and prizes because I have this, we always have our summer reading games and the prizes we give. And I just think, wow, it really bothers me. So here is a prize for Discovery Kingdom, buy one, get one free, Monday through Friday. This is not a prize. This is an advertisement. Buy one, get one free, Monday through Friday. It's so that they can have people there on Monday and Friday. And that means that you have to buy another one. If you have 5 people in your family, you have to buy 5 of them. If you don't have transportation, you can't get there. I think this is kind of insulting. Who can go on Monday and Friday if you're working family? So I just think that it's really important that we look at our incentives and prizes and find ones that really are and that really work for a multicultural and multi-class population. This is an advertisement. I also think I just cracked up when I saw this background that they have here because this is like so typical, boring, Dewey Decimal, whatever. And I think it's like completely inaccessible to people, most people. And so in my library, and I know there's a lot of debates around genres and such, and I'm not saying it works for everyone at all, but my library is everything, African American, Latino, fiction, nonfiction, poetry, all of that. And it's really separated into access points. So African American is like the popular fiction, and the classics are like Toni Morrison, and the biographies are Ishmael Bay and Cupcake Brown and such. And then I also double them. So because a lot of, I think the Latino publishing needs to start stepping up. We need more books about Latino people. And so in there I have both my fiction and my nonfiction because there's not a lot available to publish. So, obviously thinking about displays and being able to think outside the box if your administration allows that. And I just want to mention, I think there are some access points for my teens that may also apply to other teens that I think are overlooked. And I really think that autobiographies or biographies are just a great way in. My kids want to read a real story, and they want to read a fast story, and a lot of people will write a memoir that is that. So also I think poetry, and I think we need to start spending lots and lots of money on great fun picture books like Custom Kicks, which is a book with making tennis shoes, skulls, so different books like that that are just real high interest and fun to look at. Outreach needs to be created from the top down. It does all start with you and your attitude and your perception, and knowing your agenda and knowing that your personal agenda may be different from the population you serve, and so being able to notice that and really put them first. But the library, of course, administration needs to support it from the top down. They need to know that you need to go out on the street and say, hey, what books are you reading about Samoa? Are you Samoan? And what kind of books do you read? I just had a patron who wanted books about Samoa, and I can only find these 3. What did you think? Or how do you get books? Or whatever. They need to support, a credit card so that you can purchase a book quickly, that you can get used books, that you can have food, that you can go get offbeat publishers if you need to. A lot of my books for my kids are independently published. And if your library system does not support that, you don't have those books, and those are the popular books. Are they going to hire people who are on parole? Are they going to hire people of color? I mean, I think many libraries now are committed to hiring people of color, but let's talk about class. Are you willing to hire people on parole? If you're in a rural library and, looking at, are you willing to have cows in the library if that's what's needed? I'm just saying that I think these kind of things need to be looked at and addressed. So I think the last thing I want to say is that I believe at the very end of the credits they're going to roll this picture of me that's like a read poster. And there's 2 books that I chose. We had this staff day and we made these read posters, and it was lots of fun. And I actually want to do it with all my kids and the staff at where I work. So I had 2 books to choose. And the 2 books I chose are A Place to Stand by Jimmy Santiago BAYA, and I believe it's called The True Story of the Big Bad Wolf. And I think these 2 books really illustrate my philosophy. A Place to Stand has a boring cover, and I hope you have it in your library. It is #1 popular book. It is not fast, it's not gory, it's not anything, but the kids read this book and they love this book. I've never had a kid say they didn't like this book because the guy who wrote it, it's the true story of his life, and he wrote the movie Blood In, Blood Out. And do you have that movie in your library? Do you even know about that movie? That movie is the biggest movie. So talk to your kids, talk to your patrons about what their favorite thing is that they might not. So there's the popular stuff, and then there's the underground stuff. And some of that underground stuff is just really great to bring up above ground. This guy won the International Book Award for his book, and it's just terrific. And of course, The True Story of the Big Bad Wolf. It's so much fun, and I think all my teens can relate to it, along with The House That Crack Built. So find those odd, offbeat things that you can get them excited about books and reading. Thanks.